Yeah. All right. Since our discussion, no, is basically a financial market, so we focus more on the cash management. So very important is when you discuss about financial market, 'di ba? But may tinatawag na financial management. Natuwa ako sa picture mo, Irvie. Ah. Ano ba 'yan? Pusa? Anyway, so yon. Again, basically, you have your in terms of financial market is cash management. All right. Narinig ba ako? Yes.
Rinig naman po.
All right. All right. So the key concept and skills now in terms of the cash management is to understand how float or how it affect no the balance. What do you mean of this? What do you mean of float? By the way, hey,
Sir, kung paano po
sige, Jaime, Jaime.
dumadalo yung pera. Kung paano po dumadalo yung pera sa business and kung paano po
All right,
siya nagiging expense.
all right. Pwede din, but yes, pwede. But in terms of the bank, what do you mean of float?
Sir, yung
Okay.
yung parang interval po between do sa
Okay.
pag-deposit and sa pag-receive ng cash.
Very good. Yan. So, or pwede siya tinatawag din na clearing, diba? You know what, no? There is a process clearing. There is a holding clearing. At the same time, you have also bank clearing. Okay, what do you mean of this? Process clearing, meaning, yun nga, the moment na nag-issue ka ng cheque, diba? Papunta sa customer mo, yun yung process clearing or the float. Tama yan, no? Meaning, ba't mo pinapatagal para mag-issue ng cheque? Yan. So you need to assess that also. Next, how about the whole clearing? No? The moment na pupunta ka sa bangko, pinapatagal mo pa sa drawer mo, you have your whole clearing. All right, you have also here what you call bank clearing, 'di ba? Dati, ilan ba ang clearing sa bangko? Ilang araw? Dati ay 3 days ang clearing sa bangko. But now, is basically ay hindi na 3 days. But now, it is now, ilang araw na lang yung clearing na sa bangko? If you have an idea.
Sir, 1 na lang po.
1 day na lang. That's basically your clearing. Alright. Alright. That's basically your float. Okay? How it affects the cash balance. Alright, next. Understand how to accelerate collections at the same time managing your disbursement. By the way, float is basically part of your processing. Okay. Clearing is also part of your processing pero manual or at the same time bank. But when you say float naman, yes, pag sinabing float, it is basically how you manage your cash receipt at the same time how you manage your cash disbursement. All right. In terms of the cash management na class, what would be your objective when you have your cash management? Sige nga, how about in terms of collection? Dapat ba papatagalin mo ang collection mo or dapat ikaw ay makakolekta ka agad in terms of collection? Common sense. Again, in terms of cash collection, papatagalin mo or dapat makakolekta ka? Sabi ni Mariel, dapat makakolekta ka agad. Very good. Also, Janina, very good. Dapat makakolekta ka. Yes, also Christine, very good. Dapat makakolekta ka. Alright. How about naman in terms of managing your cash disbursement? Dapat ba papatagalin mo muna makabayad or dapat bayaran mo muna? I think, thank you, Janina. No? Si Janina ay naka-answer ka agad. Kahit wala pa akong tanong. Oh, sabi ni Janina, pag payable daw ay patagalin muna. Sabi naman ni Marinel, bayaran ka agad. Anong tama dito? Anyone? Tama, no? Wala tayong problema in terms of our collection. No? In terms of our collection, dapat as soon as possible, tayo ay makakolekta. But in terms of payable, ano bang sabi? in terms of cash management, in terms of float. Okay, sabi ni Janina sa ni Mariel ay patagalin muna. Sabi naman ni Marinel, Gregorio, and Jaime ay bayaran ka agad. Oh, ano ba tamang sagot? Ay, sige nga. Try ko kaya tong pool na to. Ay, hindi. Kailangan pala ng kailangan ng internet na. Wala lang. Ay, ano ba to? Master class. Ano ba eh? Alright. Both tama. Alright. Anong, in terms of the cash management. Alright. You hold. The, the answer this is basically is, okay, wait lang. Ay, sorry. Tayo pala ay ano ba to? Ah, hindi ito. Sorry. Pero sabi ko parang mali yung ating ano. Yan. Sorry, mali yung na-open kong ano. Alright. The answer here is basically patagalin muna ang pagbayad. Why? What is the reason why we need to delay muna, especially of our payment? What is the basic
Sir,
rule?
sir, to maintain a certain level of liquidity po.
Alright? To maintain the certain liquidity issues. Yun nga. Okay? Sabi kasi doon, as part of the cash management, sabi nila, ba't ayaw ng, wait lang ha. Ang problema yung aking laptop. Nawawala yung, yan. Nawawala yung mouse. Alright, yan. Sir, baka po may discount if malaki ang babayaran. Alright, the reason why wag mo munang bayaran, no? Is basically because of your cash flow. Ang sabi nila, gamitin mo muna yung pera mo. Okay? Use your money to invest first. Okay? Use your money in something else to earn a net income. Saka na muna natin bayaran ang ating utang. Yan. If it is a cash management. So understand the advantages and disadvantages of holding the cash in some way. It will invest your cash. Alright. Sabi naman ni Faye, kasi po outflow po ang payment ng liabilities. Kailangan po muna. Yes. Yan. Pwede rin, no? Kasi kailangan muna natin ng inflow. Okay? Because we are in the cash management. It's basically, we need money. Especially now, because of the pandemic. Diba? Yan. Alright. So, in this example, that's why, so, ano pala itong introduction, ha? That's why today, what I will discuss is all about the reason for holding cash. What would be the reason why we hold cash, especially in terms of our financial market? Financial market / in terms of the cash management. 27.2 is also understanding the float. What do you mean of float? 27.3, cash collection and concentration. 27.4 is how you manage your cash disbursement. And the last is investing or idle cash. Alright. Ito na yun, ha? Ito na yung question kanina. Bakit natin ino-hold yung cash? Alright. There are 1, 2, 3. 3 reasons. Speculative motive. You speculate that there would be unexpected opportunities. Let's say, i-hold ko muna yung cash ko kasi baka sooner or later mayroon akong magiging business partner. Kailangan ko ng pera because of unexpected opportunities. Alright. Number 2, precautionary motive. Lalo na ngayon, because of the pandemic, ikaw ba ay nakahanda? Si Marikay, nakahanda yan. Kasi siya ay gumawa ng, ano ba yan? Ano ba yung ano mo? Tinitinda mo? Parang wala na, no? Hindi ka na nagpo-post.
Busy po, sir.
Busy na sa pag-aaral. Okay lang naman, siyempre. Ano mo na. Of course, ngayon, because of the pandemic, madaming mga online seller, 'di ba? Yan. So meaning precautionary motive, All right, your cash will be used in terms of contingencies. Your cash is used in terms of emergencies, and also your day-to-day operation, or you hold cash because you pay your bills every day. Day-to-day bills. You pay your bill because of your normal operating cycle. Kailangan mong mag-hold ng cash para may pangsweldo ka, Kalil, no? Sa mga tao mo, sa mga cupcake mo. Yan. Kailangan mong mag-hold ng cash para kung ikaw ay corporation, dapat yan ay may pambayad ka ng dividends. That's your day-to-day bills, day-to-day operations. All right. Meaning, trade-off between opportunity cost of holding cash related to the transactions is basically you convert your short-term investment into cash daw. So basically, you will convert your marketable securities now into cash transactions. Alright. Ito na yung float kanina. 'Di ba? Kanina we relate float into your clearing. Alright. Meaning, the float pala, ang ibig sabihin yan ay the difference between cash balance recorded in your cash account and the balance recorded at the bank. Ah, sir, mali pala yung ating pagkaintindi. Akala ko clearing. Yes. Kaya ako kanina ni-refer yan sa clearing kasi ganun ang pagkakaintindi ng iba. Hindi pala ganun. Yung float is the difference between the cash balance in terms of your cash account and the cash balance in terms of your book. Bakit? May float ka because you have a difference between deposit in transit and your outstanding check. Tama ba? Tama ba? In your discussion, Sir Jerwin, Sir Joshart, tama ba? Siya ba yung,
Bank recon po.
Bank recon. Very good. So you have also here disbursement float. Okay. What do you mean of disbursement float? So basically, you generate daw firm when you write your check. Yan nga, when you write your check in your book, 'di ba? Yan ay naka-deduct na, tama ba? But in your bank, yan ay hindi pa nadideduct. That's why available balance at the bank minus book balance is greater than 0. Bakit? 'Di ba mas malaki ang pera mo sa bangko versus sa your book balance. Kasi nga, you write your check in your book, it is deducted already. Alright. How about collection float? Okay. Deposit in transit. Check, receive, increase book balance because you have your deposit in transit. But no, available balance minus the book balance is less than 0. Why? Kasi nga, mas maliit ang pera mo sa bangko versus the book. Why? Kasi wala ka pang deposit in transit. Wala ka pang collection float. You get the point ba? Okay? Alright, class?
Yes,
You get the
sir.
point? Alright. That's why here, the formula to compute for the net float is basically your disbursement float plus your collection float. Meaning, ano yung nagfo-float mo para sa pagbayad mo? Ano yung nagfo-float sa'yo in terms of your collection? Take note ha, plus yan ha, kasi recon nga. Alright, examples of of types of float. No? You have 3,000 in your checking account. You just deposited 2,000 and wrote check for 2,500. Okay, wala pala dito. What is the disbursement float? Sige nga. You have 3,000 checking in your account. You just deposited 2,000 and wrote check for 2,500. O ano yung disbursement float diyan? 2,000 or 2,500?
2.5 po.
Very good. 2,500. Ano yung collection float diyan? Of course, 2,000, diba? Because you deposited it. Ay, lang. Ano ba message? All right. Yes, Marinel and Gabriel. Okay. All right. How much is your net float? Ano ang net float? You add the
Disbursement
disbursement float and
collection
collection
float.
float. So meaning you have 2,000 plus your 2,500. All right. How about if you are book balance? So, what is your book balance? 'Di ba? Meron kang checking account na malamang 3,000 lang yung pera mo sa bangko. Pero sa book balance mo, magkano dapat yung pera mo?
2,000 po.
Ha? 2,000 ba? 3,000 plus Magkano yung book balance mo per se? For sure, nag-deposit ka, di ba? Di ba? For sure, nag-deposit ka. Okay? So, magkano na yung pera mo? Alright, so meaning, yung pera mo sa bangko ay 3,000 plus 2,000, correct? You have here 5,000. Alright, how about you wrote your check ba na 2,500? Kasama ba to? Yes or no? 7,500 ba ang answer?
No po, sir.
Or only 5? Oh, why, Jaime, why 5,000?
Sir, kasi yung check po pang ano, parang ano, di po siya income, sir.
Hindi, book ba
Para,
income for?
parang hindi po siya kasali sa book, sir.
Alright, why hindi kasama sa book? Siya ay kasama sa pag-compute ng bank, 'di ba? 'Di ba yung deposit and transit and outstanding check ay basically part siya ng reconciling ng bank or book?
Bank po.
Very good. Sa bank 'yan, 'di ba? Sa bank balance plus deposit in transit minus your outstanding check. Very good. Naalala pa yung bank record natin. Alright, so magkano yung book balance mo? 5,000 ba or 3,000 lang? Sige nga.
5,000 po, sir.
Alright, 5,000. How about how much is your available balance? Magkano yung available balance natin? Malamang ito ay nag-check ka pa lang to. Wala pa tong float, no? Kasi ito ay ano pa lang, ito ay deduction pa lang. Okay? How much would be the available balance? 3,000 plus okay, what is the available balance?
7,500 po ba? Kasi
7,000.
outstanding pa po yung check.
Alright, very good because of the 7,500. Yan. Alright, with this, no, in terms of measuring the float, 7,500 dito ha. So in terms of the measuring of float is basically, you measure this now in terms of the size of the float. Okay? Size of the float depends on dollar amount and the time delay. Alright, so delay is basically mailing time. So kanina, ito yung, I believe we discussed this before your quiz, diba? Plus processing delay plus availability delay. Alright, suppose you mail check each month for 1,000 and it takes 3 days to reach the destination. Alright, 1 day to process, 1 day to before the bank makes. Yan, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong float. Minsan may delay ha. What would be the average day float assuming you have 30 day in a month? Method 1, of course, may 3 days ka to takes into or days to reach destination. May 1 day ka to process and may 1 day ka to make available yung cash mo. Okay? Alright. And then you divide it by 1,000. The 1,000 here is basically the amount of your check. Alright. Ano to, sir? Ba't kailangan mong i-multiply to sa 5 days para lang makuha mo kung ilan yung delay mo? So, ilan yan? Di ba? 5,000 yan. So, how much is that? So, meaning, process na. So, 5 times 1,000. Okay, you divide it by 30. Alright, so how many days ba? Or what is the average daily float? The answer here is 166.67. So, you have two methods, and you have the same answer. How about method 2? 5 because 5 days delay. You divide it by 30. So, meaning, ilan yung days na delay mo dito? Alright, so 5 divide 30, you have 0.1667. You multiply it by the 1,000, you have 166.67. Alright, plus, ito pa lang alam mo na yung sagot, no? Plus 25 times 30. Alright, meaning, in 30 days, 25 mo dito ay wala nang delay, di ba? That's why, 0 to. So meaning, ito lang mismo ang 1,667. Ikaw, ano gusto mo? Method 1 or method 2? For me, method 1 mas maganda.
1 po. Sir, i-round up po ba yan? Or ganyan na po talaga yung sagot?
Ano siya, day siya, 167. Kasi day siya, wala naman po 67 days, diba? Yan. Rounding off tayo, nearest to the peso. Alright, next. Example of the cost of float. Yes, 1. How about the cost of float? Cost of float, opportunity cost of not being able to use the money. Suppose the average daily float is 3 million with a weighted average of 5 days. What is the total amount unavailable to earn an interest? So you have 5 days delay times 3 million. Sayang, you have 15 million. So unavailable to earn interest. What is the net present value of a project that could reduce the delay by 3 days if the cost is 8 million? So immediate cash inflow here, of course, you have 3 days, di ba? 3 days yung delay mo. Sorry, 3 days yung 3 days din yung para lang ma-reduce yung ano mo from 5 days to 3 days. So 3 days na lang. 3 days times 3 million, you have 9 million. Okay? So the net present value niyan, of course, 9 million as part of, parang ito na yung na-reduce natin na 9 million minus 8. Alright. Ano yung 8 million? The 8 million is the cost of reducing it to 3 days. So, makano ang net present value? 1 million. Okay. Anong gagawin mo? Go with the 5 days or go with also with the 3 days. So, for 3 days na. Although may cost ka na 1 million, for you, no, sayang kasi yung 2 days pa para magkaroon ka ng interest. Di ba? Malaki yan, ha? 2 times 5, di ba? 10 million ka agad. Dito, dito 15 million, di ba? I get the point ba? Because ang gagawin natin is you reduce that by 3 days. So may 2 days ka pa to earn an interest. So 2 times 3, sorry, 2 lang pala times 3, you have 6. Yan. So meaning, mas okay ito, di ba? Because you reduce the float in terms of your collection. Alright? So for any question about this, madali lang ba?
Madali
Naman
pa
po,
po.
sir.
Alright, madali pa, no? Parang simple, ano lang, adding or subtracting, then also multiplying. Alright, next. Alright. Ay, kinakaya pa. Alright. Yes, Mariel. Alright, next. Next naman, ano nangyari dito? Next is all about cash collection and concentration. Alright, di ba ito yung mga delay natin, no? Cash payment or payment mailed, then payment received, then payment deposited, then your cash available. So the mailing time, the processing delay, the availability of delay, that's the cash collection and in terms of concentration. So one of the goal of the float management is that to try to reduce your collection day as much as possible. There are several techniques that can reduce various delay of or parts of delay. So, yan yung ating yan ang ating motivation to reduce the collection delay. Alright, kasi nga, sabi ko nyo kanina, mas maganda as soon as possible you can have a collection from your customer. Alright. What is the example of acceleration collection? Meaning, ginawa mo na yung part para makakolekta ka as soon as possible. So, anong gagawin mo? Number one, your company does business nationally and currently. All checks are sent to the headquarters in Tampa, Florida. You're considering to have a lockbox system. Alright. Sa bangko, may lockbox system. Para kang nagpapatago ng pera sa bangko. Okay? So, para sila na yung bahala. Okay? That have check processed in Phoenix. Okay? Louis and Philadelphia. The Tampa office will continue to process check it received in-house. Okay? So, take note, no? Collection time will be reduced by 2 days. Mas okay, di ba? Ang sabi nga ni Ervy kanina, mas maganda as much as possible, you will delay your collection. Next. Daily time or interest rate is treasury bill, you have 1%. Or sorry, 1%. Average number of daily payment to each lockbox system is 5,000. Take note pag kayo nagpapatago ng pera, yan ay may cost. Yan. So, and after that, the daily cash payment daw is 5,000 or average number of daily payments. Average size of payment is 500. Okay? The processing fee is 0.10 per check plus $10 to wire funds to a centralized bank at end of each day. Alright, paano yun? So, magagawin natin, what would be your benefit? Diba sabi, you will reduce daw your cash collection from, ano yung sanabi? Sabi niya, you will reduce it by 2 days. So, meaning dati ay 5 days ka. Diba? Because you will reduce it by 2 days. Saan pa yung 5 days? Sabi kanina, diba? Walang sinabi. Let's say you have 3. So, average collection, diba? Saan 3? Kanina napasa ko yan. Walang sinabi. Dapat may sinabi. Alright, so meaning 3 times 5,000 times 500 pesos, the average collection here is 7.5. Your increased balance here is 2 days. Why 2 days? Kasi nga, you will reduce daw by 2 days. Or let's say 5 days yan, ha? Okay? Okay. 2 days daw. So meaning you have 15,000 here as you will increase your cash balance. Kaya lang sabi, you have a daily cost. So you need to compute for the daily cost. Diba sabi, you have here 0.1. 0.1 would be the interest rate. Yan, ito yun, ha? The interest rate of your cost. And you multiply it by 15,000. Why? Why 15,000? Because yan yung rate mo. Yan yung rate mo. Plus the 3 times 10. So daily cost here is at 1530. Alright, the present value of your daily cost is 1530. You divide it by 0.001. Saan ito galing? Diba ito yun yun? 0.001. Please check. Okay? Yeah, so you have here 15,300. So magkano yung cost mo? 15,000 minus 15,300. You have a negative net present value. My question here is, diba, in our capital budgeting, if it is negative, accept or reject?
Reject po.
Reject. That's why here it is reject. Okay. Yeah, so if you have your reject because you have a negative 300,000. All right, next. So we are done in terms of our cash flow. How about naman in terms of our cash disbursement? So, di ba kanina sabi ko,
Sir, wala pong sound. Sir, wala pong sound.
ay, wala sound.
Meron na
Ayun.
po, sir.
Alright. Ano kaya nangyari? Ba't walang sound? Alright, sige. Okay, tanong kanina ni saan magaling daw yung 15? So basically 5,000, 'di ba? You have here 5,000 times 3 days. Why 3 days? Kasi 5 days 'yon. So you will reduce that by 2 days. So you have here 15. Gets ba? Khalil? Alright. And also plus 3 days. Ito yung dati kasi na 3 days mo. Okay? Then you multiply it by 10. The 10 here is basically parang yung cost mo ng wire funds. Ito yun. No? Yan, 10. So you have your 10. So magkano yung daily cost mo? The daily cost mo is 1530. Gets ba? Gets ba, Khalil? Alright. Sir, bakit po yan ay dinidivide natin ng 0.0001? Sabi kasi dito, no, yung cost mo daw dito ay the processing, the daily cost rate daw is 0.001. No? So if you multiply that, wait lang ha, 0.10 times 0.01, yan. So take note, if you multiply processing fee of 0.10 and 0.01, di ba? You have here 0.10 times 0.01, you have your 0.001. Narinig ba ako? Yes?
Yes po.
Okay,
Rinig.
sir.
Yes po.
Kasi si Marinel nag-ano sa akin. How about yung Marinel? Na ano ba ako? Marinel? Kasi si Marinel ay nag-send sa akin. Sir, wala po kayong sound. Ito ba si Marinel? Okay. Anyway. Yan. Saan to galing? 0.001. 0.01% times 0.10. That's basically 0.001. Para lang makuha natin yung present value of the daily cost of 15,300. Okay ba, Khalil? Nagets ba?
Yes po, sir.
Alright,
Thank you
sige.
po.
How about you, Marinel? Ito ba si Marinel? Kasi siya ay ngayon pa lang nag-message sa akin, wala daw akong sound. Hello? Baka siya nawala, no? Anyway. Yan. So, meaning negative siya, you will not accept the proposal, di ba? Yan. So far, any question pa? Wala, no? Alright. Next naman is all about managing your cash disbursement. So, very important also that in terms of the cash disbursement, mas maganda ay hindi mo muna babayaran, no? Slowing down the payment can increase the disbursement flow. Pero it does not mean na hindi mo babayaran, ha? I-delay mo lang. But it may not be ethical or optimal to do this, especially in terms of controlling disbursement. Ang sabi is to delay, hindi naman sinasabi na hindi babayaran. Nawala po kayo. Nawawala ba ako? You can hear me ba?
Sir, okay na po.
Oo, kasi si Marinel nagme-message sa akin. Nawawala po kayo. Okay. Okay na ba, Marinel, ha? Alright, sige. Alright, so meaning, zero balance account and you have controlled disbursement account. Alright. Paano yan? So, ang sabi nila, para daw i-hold mo muna yung pera, i-invest mo na lang muna. Investment and idle cash. So, pwede sa money market. So, financial instruments with an original maturity of 1 year or less. And also temporary cash surplus or surpluses. Seasonal or cyclical activities. Now, buy muna short-term investment. No? Convert them into cash for the meantime. Mag-earn pa ng interest, di ba? Or planned or possible expenditures. Meaning, bili ka muna ng securities. Yan. Saka na muna bayaran yung utang for the upcoming expenses. That's why here, no, you have seasonal cash demand. You have marketable securities. You have bank loans. No, you have your financing. As you notice, no, ganun talaga yung buhay, no, ups and down. Yan. So because of this financing, you have short term and you have your long term. Alright. Characteristics of the short term securities. So with this of short term investment, you have maturity, you have default risk, you have marketability, and you have taxability. What do you mean of maturity? Firm often limit the maturity of a short-term investment to 90 days to avoid loss. Yan. And also, you have also here default risk, no, to avoid investing in marketable securities with significant risk. And also, you have marketability, ease of converting them to cash, and taxability, different tax characteristics now in making decisions. Yan. Short quiz. What are the major reasons why you hold cash? Sige nga, Khalil. Why we need to have or why we need to hold cash? Di ba tatlo yun? For?
Yes, sir. Sir, para po sa day-to-day bills,
Mhm. That's your
yung
transaction motive. Di ba? You have
case
also
of, in case of emergency po.
speculative yon. Okay? Speculative ba yun?
Tsaka
Sorry.
po yung, sir,
For
yung mga unexpected
unexpected.
opportunities.
Very good. No? Yan, mga opportunity. Very good. No? Speculative for day-to-day operation, for in expansion, for opportunities. Very good. Ano yung difference natin sa tinatawag na disbursement float and collection float? What would be the difference? CN naman. Si Justin Reformo. Si Josh Marcel Reformo. Lupit ng picture mo, ha? What is the difference between disbursement float and collection float?
Sir, sa disbursement float po is generated where a firm writes a check. Then sa
Alright.
collection float po is created when a firm
Mm.
receives the check po.
Alright, so very good. So in terms of the float, ano ang ating objective? Si ano naman, tama yan, Josh, no? O Chloe. What would be our objective if we have float in terms of disbursement or float in terms of collection? Dapat ba pag collection, ano bang ating objective, Chloe? Wala. Miggy, please. How about you, Mariel?
Sir,
Sige, Mariel. What is our objective in terms of float of disbursement and float of collection?
sir, nagpuputol-putol po. Ano po yun?
Putol ba ako? Alright. What would be your objective in terms of disbursement float and collection float?
Sir, sa collection po is makakollect po tayo ng cash agad-agad.
Very
While
good.
po sa disbursement float naman po is makabayad po tayo in a later date po.
Okay, very good. Very good, Mariel. Alright. Next, number 3. RV. How does a lockbox system work? Ba't kailangan pa ng lockbox system? As discussed a while ago. Because ano yung motive ng lockbox system? Wala si RV.
Sir, yan
Okay,
ba
go,
yung
go.
sa mailing?
Mailing? Ano yung objective natin? Yes, mailing. Okay.
Sir, para po direct makabayad sa mga
Direct makabayad. Kanina, ano yung may lockbox system, 'di ba? Mayroon doon ginawa eh. From 5 days, lagi na lang 2 days. Meaning, to reduce
yun
the
po,
collection float, 'di ba?
Apo,
If you reduce the collection float, meaning maganda yan para sa atin. Kasi we collect now cash, 'di ba? If we collect now cash, is basically mas maganda yan sa atin para at least we have now our cash na nasa atin na. Alright. How about in terms, okay. So in terms of the lockbox system, ano pa ang gagawin natin? Yes, our objective here is to reduce our collection. What else? Yan ba ay libre sa bangko?
Hindi po.
Hindi, 'di ba? Hindi. Okay, no? Hindi siya libre. And also you will compute for any cost, 'di ba? In terms of the lockbox system because of course may bayad yan in terms of our bank. All right, very good. Next, what are the major characteristics of short-term securities? Ba't natin kailangan ng short-term securities? Si Kenneth Ferry. So, ano sinabi, di ba? Sa last part, may sinabi doon, no? Ano yung kailangan natin igawin if you have your short-term investment or if you have idle cash, di ba? Ang sabi ay, bibilin muna tayo ng short-term investment. Meaning, we will hold muna our cash in paying for our obligation because our cash management here is to purchase muna short-term securities. Why? Because gusto natin mag-earn muna ng interest, 'di ba? If we have more interest, we can be able to pay for our obligation. Minsan nga malaki pa ang bayad natin, especially in terms of our interest. Alam mo ba, nung ako ay nasa San Miguel pa, no? Madami mga ahente na ginagamit muna yung pera ng San Miguel para makapag-invest kung ano-ano. Nag-invest sa stocks. Totoo yan pero mali yan, no? Because hindi mo yung pera yan ng San Miguel. Yung iba naman ay pinangsusugal, no? Alam niyo yung mga e-games, ang ginagawa nila ay yung kanilang collection sa bank sa mga customer ay ini-e-games nila. Okay, sa mga una, sila ay nananalo. Di binabalik nila yung kapital kasi hindi naman nila pera yon. Pero yung interest ay nasa kanila. Tama ba yon? Di ba mali? Kasi hindi mo naman pera yon. No, anong nangyari? Sa una, laging panalo. Alright. Alright. And then, eventually, natatalo na. Okay. After that, sir, paano po pag naubos yung pera na gamit? Yan nga. Yan yung nangyari, Khalil. Sir, illegal yan, Mariel. Hindi pwede yon, no? So una, naibabalik pa naman yung pera na kasi sa San Miguel kasi dapat at the end of the day, dapat alas 9 ng gabi, dapat alas 12 ng madaling araw or 11:59 dapat nakalimit ka na kasi 24 hours naman yung yung cashier sa San Miguel until alas 12 sila kasi nga medyo madaming lasenggero, no? Gaya ni wag na. Alright, madaming umiinom na beer, 'yon. So meaning, dapat 11:59 makakalimit ka na. Nakakalimit naman sila. Kaya lang, ayun nga, sabi, ang tanong ni Khalil, paano pag natatalo? Paano pag naubos? Nangyari, natalo sila. Alright, hindi nakapag-remit ng pera sa San Miguel. Kami, as part of the auditor, sinumbong ng cashier sa amin. Sir, si ganito ay hindi nakapag-remit. Hindi lang po isang beses, madaming beses na. Red alert yan, ha? Okay. Basic rule, if you are agent or ahente ng company, dapat nagre-remit ka everyday. Tinanong namin, okay, ano bang, kaibigan ko yun. No? Sabi sa akin, Sir Jayman, babalik ko naman yan kinabukasan. Nakaproblema lang sa pera. Hindi ko pa alam na sinusugal niya. Daming alibay. Daming sabi, yung anak niya raw may sakit, ganyan. Alright. When you find out, no, yung pala matagal na nagsusugal yon, no. Natanggal yun, ha. Kasi basic rule yan sa San Miguel na we're in, you should remit cash araw-araw. Yan. Ganun yun, no? In your cash management, in a legal way, yes, you have your short-term securities, use muna yan para makapag-earn ng interest. If you have your interest na, you can be able na to pay for your obligation. Alright. So for any question, malinaw ba? Alright. Accessibility content. Tapos na pala tayo. Alright, the time is 8:35. Alright, any question about this? Next meeting, no, I will discuss about credit and inventory management. Medyo mahaba siya. So on Thursday. And after that, I will give quiz again, no? Cash, credit, and inventory management as part of your financial market. Alright. So far, any question?
None naman po.
Josh, may utang ba akong hindi ko pa na-upload? Wala, no? Kasi last
Wala
time
naman
naman.
po, sir.
Wala, no?
Opo, sir.
Kasi last
Yes po.
time naman tayo nag-quiz. Okay. Ito yung utang ko ngayon. Okay. Si Josh yung taga-remind ko. Basta na si Josh, ha? Basta di ako nakaka-reply kasi alam nyo ba, ang klase ko ay until alas 10. Hindi, ngayon lang alas 9 kasi kayo. Pero ang sa ibang school kasi hanggang 10 ako because of Ateneo. Medyo wow. Kaya minsan after ng klase ko, Josh, tulog na ako. 'Di ba siya notice, 'di ba nakaka-reply ako kinabukasan na.
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Pagod na pagod ako ewan ko, pagod na pagod ako ngayon pag online. Dumami yung load ko. Okay. Basta yung utak ko ngayon ito ha. So I will upload this later. Pag kain muna ako din eh. Kung hindi, tomorrow morning na. Alright. Ikaw, Diana, ano ka ba? Gusto mo pwede naman tomorrow. Gabi na. Kaya mo pa ba mag-quiz ngayon? Diana? Alright. You can take tomorrow. Wag na muna. Today na? Sige. Okay. 9 o'clock. Okay lang ba? Alright. Sige. So if no question. Alright. So see you all again on Thursday. I will discuss. Please read about credit, AR. No, AR inventory. At the same time, your inventory management. Paano yun? Yung last day natin will be on May. Kailan lang ang sunod niyan? Tagal pa, no? Kasi may summer pa, di ba? Kasi ngayon kasi nag-iba lahat, di ba? Because of the pandemic, nag-iba yung ating schedule, di ba? Di ba? Di ba, Josh, no? Hindi ko na alam kung kailan nang start eh.
Opo, sir.
Di ba? Malamang babalik kayo August na. Tama ba?
Wala pa naman pong sinasabi.
Ano ba ngayon? First sem ba ngayon o second sem?
Second na po.
Second sem na
Second
po.
sem na. Tama. Tama, para magsa-summer, no? Tama, August or July, mga August ang balik natin. Haba ng bakasyon nyo. Kasi May. Almost 2 months din, no? Alright. What else? Any question? So if none, thank you very much and see you all again on Thursday. Same time, 7:30.
Thank you po, sir.
Alright, sige. Bye-bye.
Thank you po,
Thank you po,
sir.
sir.
Alright, sige. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you po,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank you
you.
po.
Bye-bye.